Thanks for joining us, Dr. Ranieri. I'm wondering if you could tell us what you think will be the future perspective for ECMO and other kinds of extracorporeal support.
Well, there is an incredible growing of interest and technological development of all devices related to extracorporeal support, for cardiovascular support, for pulmonary support, and is an exciting period from this perspective. I believe we are at the edge of a change in the perspective from the clinical standpoint, from the technological standpoint, from the scientific standpoint. I mean, we have tools nowadays that can really support cardiorespiratory function, minimizing side effects, and allowing us to do things that few years ago were impossible. So this explains the huge interest that nowadays we're facing with this. But on the other hand, this is the time when we have to provide the scientific evidence that extracorporeal support for pulmonary cardiovascular function are crucial and can change the outcome of our patients.
And how do you get that evidence?
Well, the evidence comes from clinical research. Clinical research comes from network. So this is the time when clinicians involved in the use of ECMO in the clinical practice must create international network in order to produce clinical trials that will generate the evidence that we need nowadays.
And so this is the aim of the ECMONet organization?
This is the aim of the ECMONet. That is not linked to scientific societies, is not linked to professional societies. It is a group of clinicians, academic clinicians and pure clinicians that wants to create a network to promote education and research. And is international, goes across the Atlantics and the Pacific, involving US, Euro, Australasia, and is an important chance and opportunity for this business to develop and becomes standard of care.
Mm. And so what are some of the initial activities that we can expect from ECMONet?
Well, first of all, there is a prospective studies investigating how patients are ventilated during ECMO, because if you review the available data, it looks like that everybody is doing what they want. There are no guidelines, there is no evidence that can suggest the clinician how they should manage the ventilator during ECMO. This is one of the first, I believe, a very important study that the ECMONet, led by Dan Brody, is doing and will be done in the next future. Then we need to establish the network involving important sites, getting these sites on board in order to create the infrastructure for a large randomized controlled trial on the use of ECMO versus conventional care for patients with severe ARDS.
So you're from Italy, from Torino. What's distinctive about the way in which ECMO is practiced in your region?
I think that we learned a lesson that comes from the available evidence, and we centralize the system. So we have a network of 12 Italian ICUs where all patients needing ECMO are centralized, and these network has 5 sites that are responsible for transferring patients where ECMO is needed. So we have a quite structured system where you have peripheral sites where ECMO can be practiced and a number of selected sites that are responsible for transportation of the patients to the different knots of the network.
Mm-hmm. And so what are some of the results that you have found in
well, we were effective in dealing with the H1N1 emergency crash a couple of years ago. And based on that success, now we have an established system. So when there is a patient with severe respiratory failure needing extracorporeal support, this patient is not left alone, but is centralized to the net and is managed by the net. So we can guarantee the best standard of care when the patients need it.
So you're a repeat participant at the Paris ECMO course, the international course on ECMO.
Yeah.
What do you appreciate particularly about this event?
The growing of the interest, the growing of participation. I mean, now you can see that here you can really see the future becoming reality.
In what way? Can you explain a little bit further about precisely what it is about?
Because I mean, you come 1 year and you see speakers presenting new data, presenting technological development, and the year after you see these data becoming standard of care, you see this technological development becoming a product that is available at the bedside. So it's really, you can see in this meeting the growing of this area of critical care medicine.
Excellent. That's
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.